What do you guys think of cooked carrot versus raw carrot? Like raw carrot has like a satisfying snap. Cooked carrot is like mushy and loses all its flavor. You guys heard of that thing where largely from Japan hear that Paris is like the greatest thing in the world, and when they go over and realize it's not that great, they have like anxiety and panic attacks and stuff, and like destroys their view of reality. It's like, or even the most perfect of places that I thought was so amazing is actually garbage. What? Oh no, my world is shattered, or some such. Apparently, I think Paris syndrome. There you go. Good. That's a good name for it. Tyler and I went to Mold. What to expect? The ultimate celebration of Australian cheese, world-class Pinot Noir, and the passionate makers who bring them to life. There's a bunch of wine. There was like honey. I don't know, but it was mainly wine and cheese and some spices and stuff. Yeah, it was heaps of fun. We're going inside, and as we're walking in, I hear to my side, GTA man. I'm like, huh? And one of the security guards, younger than me, he was late 20s, I guess, and he's like, hey man, I love your stuff. I watched so many of your shorts, dude. I'm addicted. I'm like, oh, thanks, man. And it's funny because obviously people think of me as the GTA guy. Very few people call me the GTA man because that's the name of GTA man, the content creator, right? Obviously he recognized me and it was funny to be that way, which was nice. But the event was nice and we ate a lot of cheese, and a lot of wine. And now I feel kind of bleh. Other than that, good. What you do is you go from stall to stall getting free samples basically. Yeah, like you carry around your cup, you go, wine please, and they give you wine and you buy whatever stuff you want, and must spend $100 on cheese and on meats as well, because they have, you know, chorizo and salamis and all that jazz. I'd say like, you know, 35% of the stalls is wine, 35% is cheese, and the remaining 30% is other stuff. So, you know, spicy sauces, honey, meat, that kind of stuff. And it's pretty packed as well, like there's a lot of people in there, but the lines aren't that long. So we had fun, but today I'm just like, eh. Are you still subscribed to that monthly cheese or whatever? You're referring to my cheese tasting video, which is one of my best videos. I tried every cheese and it got progressively worse, the definitive cheese tier list. No! Hey everyone! It's just such a great video. But no, I'm not. That company went out of business. I don't think they necessarily like ran out of money. I think they just closed their doors. I remember to get a plate this time. I'm actually learning. But I got some bad news, guys. This will be the last cheese review. Not because I don't want to do more, but because the company that I'm buying this cheese from is going under. No, not going under, but they're canceling it. Like, it's not profitable for them to do. It just says, the December box will be our last. Here at Mold, we have not increased our prices since we began in May 2020, and to be direct, we had a tough decision to make. Dramatically increase our prices to cover the skyrocketing costs of cold chain logistics and packaging, or make a tough call to close the cheese delivery subscription service. And so they decided to close it down. Like, you don't understand, chat. Australia is a very hot place. As you would deliver cheese, of all things, like, you know, you drop off the package in the morning perhaps, and it sits out there in the sun, potentially, or even just not directly in the sun, even in the shade, it's not going to do well, the cheese. For a person working a 9 to 5 who might get home at 6 p.m. Me working from home, even I'm like, oh no, I wake up and I think my cheese has been out there for 3 hours. Is it still going to be good? I can't imagine how it is for other people. The logistical challenges there are probably pretty significant. And yeah, the cost of everything is continuing to go up, and I don't understand that they're going to close it down. We had some fun though, and I'm happy to know that my reviews have not necessarily tanked the company. I guess we'll just enjoy the last cheese review. It was Gouda while it lasted. Yes, it was. That's really sad. No, they probably sell cheese other places and stuff. It's just a hard business model for cheese. So you gotta understand about Australia, right, guys? When it comes to doctors, for a lot of the doctors' offices, it's free to go. You go, you get checked out, and then you just leave. But for some particular doctor's offices, there's a thing called like a gap payment, where it's a doctor's office that's run by like a private company or something, and they want to charge more than what the government's willing to cover. They'll charge you like $90 and you'll get a refund from the government for $50. Yeah, so over the years, it's become more standard to charge for money. So it says here, in my state, 85% of general practitioner clinics now charge some amount of money. The vast majority operate as mixed billing, meaning they charge a fee for standard patients, but may bulk bill children, pensioners, or concession card holders. Yeah, so when I was younger, every doctor's was free. But because we have a mixed system of private and public, and sometimes the payments given for doctors don't keep up with inflation or rising costs or whatever, this has become like a trend. But where I lived previously, I was in the middle of bumfuck Idaho, way away from any place of significance. And so it was a small doctor's office and they charged me nothing. And I was there for like 5+ years. But I've moved now to a bit more of a well-off place. And so I went to the doctor's here, got my checkup. I got my note saying I need to get my blood tests and stuff. It was just a routine checkup, right? And I walk out of the doctor's office, walked halfway down the street, and I hear someone behind me going, "Matthew!" I'm looking at this woman like, she looks familiar. Is she a fan or something? Or like, oh, no, it's from the doctor's office. Oh, and it occurred to me like, of course, I've walked out of the doctor's office without paying. Because I've never been there before, and I'm so used to not paying. And I walked back in, and she looks at me like I've murdered someone. Like, I've done the most heinous crime imaginable. She's looking at me with utter disbelief. I'm like, this must happen sometimes still to people, right? And I paid, and I'm like, this is the most awkward experience of my life. What type of receptionist at a doctor's office is like this? In like a normal, give it 10 years ago, I never would go to this doctor's office again because I'm just embarrassed. But now I'm just like, fuck it, I don't give a shit. This person thinks I'm brain dead. I don't care. I'm gonna go back again. I'm of the position that it is better for society if people can get checked out. But no, scientifically speaking, the studies have been done. It is better for society as a whole if people can, for free, get checked out at the doctor's office. Because a problem that can be solved with a $10 pill, if left alone, can end up becoming like a $5,000 issue that if you can't pay for it, the doctors still have to treat you. And we as a society suffer that cost. And as well, if you don't go and get checked out and you're sick, you spread that sickness to other people as well. You make more people sick and it reduces the productivity of society. The studies have been done. Public access to general practitioners is just better for society, better for the economy, better for people. And I think I support the idea of slightly raising taxes to the amounts that we're currently on average paying for gap pay so that they can be free again. It's always politically contentious to try and raise taxes for any reason. You gotta expend political capital to do that. And I don't think the government's willing to do that right now. But to be clear, the vulnerable members of society still get it for free. So they'll raise taxes for the elderly, children, the people with debilitating diseases or whatever, the people who don't make a lot of money, they're still free. It's everyone else that's paying. And it's like, it basically works out the same way as the tax does anyway, but I get these awkward interactions. So I can understand why they're not going to the effort to change that. But I guess it's just the trade-offs of a mixed private public system, which works out in some ways and doesn't work out in others, because no system is perfect, But yes, that's my story, where I got embarrassed. There was actually an Instagram reel that I saw where the person was talking about how they believe that Take-Two stock is going to go so much higher. And some analysts are saying the same thing. But other people are arguing that it's been priced in. If you don't know what that means, it's where something may be happening in the future that you might think, well, it's going to cause people to buy the stock more. But it can be the case that everyone already knows that that thing's going to happen. And so everyone's already bought the stock in anticipation of that thing. So everyone knows GTA 6 is coming out. Everyone, in air quotes. So all those people have already bought it, And so the game will come out and nothing will happen to the stock price. I find that hard to believe. One, because I don't think most people have their fingers on the pulse of gaming to this degree. There are still people who are like reading headlines in the Financial Times or whatever, and they're like, what is this Grand Theft Auto 6? Billions of dollars? Oh, what? This is what the kids are up to these days? Reginald, buy some of this stock. And for two, even those who are aware of GTA 6 aren't necessarily aware of how significant it's going to be in terms of its potential for the cultural significance and how much it's going to sell. I was asked some questions from a guy, I think his name was Bryce or something, from Channel 7 recently, and I wrote him some stuff. They might use, might not, I've had people before ask me for stuff for articles and they haven't used it, but regardless, a lot of the questions were that, like, how culturally significant do you think this is going to be? How successful do you think it can be? Can it match the hype? Like, I'm sure there are people like me who have preemptively purchased Take-Two stock, but not everyone, right? So I bought here and like here somewhere. Like, I bought a lot of Take-Two stock here. A lot of Take-Two stock. Like, that doesn't really tell you how much, but for me, it was like a significant amount of money. When it dipped here, I'm like, these people are fucking idiots. Why is the stock going down? So I bought more like here. Nowhere near as much as I bought here. I bought like, I don't know, like another 25% or something. And then it went down even lower. And I was just like, I'm a fucking idiot. There's that saying, the market can stay irrational longer than you can stay solvent. Even if something makes absolutely no sense. The stock market is like 90% vibes. It can be entirely stupid just forever. It's like, dying, no, all my money. It's like, okay, we're back up again. Like, I've never purchased an individual stock before. I have like index funds and what do they call them? Mortgage-backed securities or something, or whatever the hell is, like the money invested in the housing market or something.
This increase in speed from successful brake boosting can be combined with Franklin's ability to give a huge boost in speed, known as...
It's me. I'm this guy. This is me. So one of the things that caused me to really start, retiring from speedrunning is that optimally brake boosting is hard. Because you can brake boost or you can brake boost. Brake boost based on vibes, yeah. And so like when I first started brake boosting, I would hold brake. And so it would give the appearance of a brake boost, but I would actually lose speed sometimes. It's just meant to be a tap. You can just tap it.
Done with a little text blip. Also.
So you're just tapping it. There's no hold there, Because I have X for everything else. Yeah, so like I have space, I have X on nothing, do I? Like actual X. Yeah, no. Yeah, I can do this. Okay. X the everything app. Oh my God. You can see how much Elon Musk has expanded X to be able to do everything now. And then when he bought it, he was like, oh, it's going to be a payment app and it's going to compete with YouTube. What a fucking tool. Why don't you use space anywhere? There is a weird quirk in the code that makes it so if space is your jump button, then you can't jump during the mission pass screen. So speedrunners change everything that normally does space into a different button. And then they use a program to make that button and space get switched. So as far as the game is concerned, my space button, my space bar, my keyboard is X. And my X is spacebar. Twitter was worse. No, it wasn't. Get out of here. I mean, like, by every objective metric, it is worse now. Makes less money. There's more hatred on it. There's more racism on it. There's more scams on it. There's more fucking bots on it. Like, it's just, by every objective metric, every analysis, it is just worse. I'm sure some people out there would be like, though, but it was all worth it just so the Nazis didn't get banned off the platform, man. That was the important thing. Every night I was up being like, I can't believe they banned Nazis on Twitter. It was worth having the entire platform be a raging shitfest just to let the Nazis back on. What do you mean? No, I'm not a Nazi. I'm just saying I believe in people's right to be Nazis on social media. Wild. At least everyone can be themselves. Oh yeah, so like the Nazis just scared off all the normal people. And so the only people left on the fucking platform are like the most extreme weirdos. You gotta learn that about groups, guys. It's basically like, imagine you had a group of friends, right? And there was just a guy who was like terrible BO, raging narcissist, raging Nazi, like continuously derailed every single event that you guys went to. And imagine that person was forced to be a part of your group. Forever. What you eventually would happen is you just hang out less. Like, oh, I want to hang out, but I'd have to hang out with like that guy who ruins every event that he goes to. Oh my God. Like, fuck this. It's just not worth it. And you just hang out less. And that's Twitter. That's Twitter. That is why every single group on the planet cultivates membership. Because there are some people who are just so repulsive and so disruptive that they ruin it for everyone else. Oh yeah, Twitter wasn't good before Elon Musk. It just wasn't this bad. But I think the reason why Twitter was bad before was just because of the general incentives of social media. It's just every bad aspect of Twitter just got ups to the nines when Elon took over. Before it was just porn, now it's porn and racism, yeah. My two least favorite things about Twitter though, there's no ability for cross-promotion. If you put a link to anywhere on the internet, nuked. Like the algorithm just destroys the discoverability of your tweet. That, and there is no niche cultures. That is to say, like, I can put out the most banging, amazing joke, right? Or meme or whatever, for the people who know me, and it will go nowhere. I may get a few thousand views or whatever. But if I put out like a generic, garbage, mainstream kind of meme, 40,000 likes. There is only the mainstream. That one time I said Charlie Kirk wasn't a good dude. Fucking, you have no idea how many times I was called a race traitor. Like, it was just like hundreds. I went viral on Nazi Twitter. It was fucking crazy. These accounts that you've run across, and it's just insane. There could be bots. Someone just make Nazi bots for fun or something, but still, right? Because Kirk was a strong fighter for the white guy, and, he had a big audience there. So The reason why I like this clip of Charlie Kirk as an example of who he was as a person is because there was like nothing prompting this. This was just him. You guys sound like a moderate to you.
It's always fun. I get a chuckle, you know, when someone is wearing the, you know, Free Palestine shirt and the gay flag. And
it's like, you know, they would literally murder you, right? It's
well,
like...
So, you know, it's funny. I used to say that, hey, if you as a gay person would go to Gaza, they'd throw you off of tall buildings, right? Now they don't have any tall buildings left, so I don't...
No tall buildings, guys.
When you mess with the bull, you get the horns.
Is that too soon? I'm sorry. Maybe you shouldn't kill Jews, stupid Muslims.
That doesn't sound Hitler-esque, does it? Like, nothing at all. Having a good old chuckle about people being bombed to death. Declaring a whole group of people in the world, you know, billion people are just all culpable and deserving of death. It's just... I mean, he was just a nice guy. Yeah. He said a lot of hateful stuff. A lot of it people interpreted wrong. It's not that people interpreted it wrong. It's that people who saw him as an ally in their fight against whatever mythical boogeyman that they have would go out of their way to intentionally misinterpret what he was saying to try to make it sound better than it was. He said so many hateful, evil things. The man was specifically funded by the uber wealthy to advocate for positions that were bad for literally everyone, to make society worse for literally everyone, specifically for his own financial gain. That's it. He was not a complicated man. He knew what he was saying was dumb. He was well aware. He just didn't care. Unironically, one of the worst people. Calling people Nazis who aren't Nazi only helps actual Nazis. If being called a Nazi causes you to become a Nazi, then I got news for you, man. There is nothing you could call me that would somehow fundamentally change my beliefs towards reality and people. If your beliefs are so Nazi adjacent that people misidentify you as a Nazi, then maybe that should be some cause for reflection in your life. It's like, you know what, at one point in time, I was in favor of the growth and general benefit of all of humankind together, irrespective of race, but then someone on Twitter called me a Nazi, and now ultimately I just want to purge all the brown people from existence. Many such cases. A lot of people retro just looking to, you know, feel a part of something. Get someone to blame and feel a part of something. There's this great quote. Like, when you've accomplished nothing in life, there's a desire to, like, attribute other people's successes to yourself. It's like, oh, all these people with my particular characteristics have done these things, and therefore their achievements are my achievements. But that's obviously not the case, right? But there's some people who've just done nothing with their lives, so they try to build up, like, their superior because of, like, innate characteristics. That's why you find, like, the biggest losers who are like, I'm a part of the superior race, and it's just like, they're fucking losers. You know? People who are comfortable with themselves or accomplish things in life don't do this shit because they don't need to. Both sides suck. One side hates a significant amount of people for irrational reasons, and the other side hates those people because they hate those people for irrational reasons. So I'll agree that there is hatred on both sides, but one of those groups' hatred makes more sense. Like, if this group would just stop persecuting and hating on and trying to hurt vulnerable peoples in society, this group wouldn't hate them. But this group will always hate those people because they hate them for innate characteristics that they can't change. Where they were born, their skin color, you know, their sexual orientation, their biology, the things they can't change. They will always hate them. These people who hate those people can hypothetically change and not be hated by this group. These are not equivalent hatreds. People in chat surprised when Matto goes on political rants when he literally started his career posting philosophy debates online. I did more before that, but I don't talk about politics much these days. I find it all to be a pointless discussion. There doesn't seem to be any downside to doing it. On rare occasions when I feel like, yap, and I just do now. As rare as those instances are. Hi! Getting to the end of a Viper Rambles episode proves that you like me and my work far more than the average person. Given that, it's possible that you might find value in becoming a YouTube member. Members get early access to all my videos, including Rambles, as well as access to my growing library of re-uploaded deleted videos, 5% off my merch, and the ability to leave comments and feedback before public release. which is incredibly helpful for me and my team. You also get a cute badge next to your name, so I can easily identify you in my comment section and live stream chats, and you can also use all my cute emotes everywhere on the channel. Lastly, after 3 months of being a member, you can submit on my Discord to join my GTA Online crew. Thanks for the consideration, I hope you enjoyed the episode, and I hope you enjoy future ones as well.